Shivaya Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanaaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gauratveshe Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Doing Bhakti Vaibhava with Mayapur Institute, you are all welcome for continuity of our study of 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we are starting the 2nd chapter, the activities of Maharaj Agnidhar. This chapter has 23 verses and 4 sections. The first section is only 2 verses, Agnidhar's rule, how he has ruled the kingdom and what austerities he has undergone. And the next section is during his austerities, Brahmaji, understanding his heart and desire, sent the celestial Apsara from Brahmalok named Purva Chiti. And then the third section is Agnidhar was using very expert techniques to entice and flatter and attract Purochiti. And the last section, and that goes from verse number 7 to 16. So 1 to 2, 3 to 6, and then 7 to 16. And the last section, which we might do tomorrow, is Agnidhar's lineage, family life, descendant, and what is his destination when he left this planet. So, we are reading the verse number 1. Sri Shuka Vacha. Evam pitri sampravarte tada anusasane vartamana agnidharo jambu dvipa okashaha praja aurasvada dharma avekshamanaha. In this way, Priyavrta Maharaj, he retired as his father retired. After his father Maharaj Priyavrta departed to follow the path of spiritual life by undergoing austerities. It means he left the kingdom, he left the rulership, and he went back to the Narad Rishi's ashram for continuing his final preparation for perfection. So the son King Agnidhar completely obeyed his order. It means Priyavrta told, now you rule, and he said, yes sir, my dear father, yes I will oblige. And when he was ruling, strictly observing the principle of religion, dharma, he was ruling according to the religious principle. He gave full protection to inhabitant of Jammu Deep, where he was ruling. The Agnidhar was ruling Jambu Deep, the deep in which we are living. The Dweep means island which is surrounded by salty water. It's called Jambu Deep. And Agnidhar was ruler of Jambu Deep. While Priyavrta was ruler of the all other Dweepa, which he gave to his different sons to rule. As he was ruling the citizen as if they are his own begotten son. Oras what means as his own son. So, Chakravarti Pad writes, second chapter describe Agnidhar obtained the Apsara Purav Chiti and exhibiting lust bore son in her, but they are all exalted sons, and they become the ruler of all the Varshas of Jambudip. And all the Varshas are after the name of son of Agnidhar. Agnidhar observed the principle of Dharma. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Following the instruction of his father, Maharaj Priyavart, Maharaj Agnidhar ruled the inhabitant of Jambudip according to religious principles. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining what are religious principles, and focuses the primary religious principle is Varnashram. So these principles are exactly contrary to the modern principle of faithlessness. As clearly stated here, the king protects the citizen the way father protects his begotten children. How he ruled the citizen is also described here. Dharma vekshamanaha, strictly according to religious principle. It is the duty of the executive head of the state to see the citizen strictly following religious principle. The Vedic religious principle begin with Varna Ashram. So, what religious principle? Varna Ashram. So, duties of the four Varna and four Ashrama. Dharma refers to principle given by personality of Godhead. Which is this verse? Dharmat tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. This is Dharmaraj says, religion is given by Supreme Personality of Godhead. The first principle of Dharma religion is to observe the duties of four orders as enjoined by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As enjoined when Prabhupada is writing, this is fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnyam Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhagasa. According to the people's qualities in actually Guna Karma Vibhagasa. See, this is the verse Prabhupada is quoting from fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The society should be divided into Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, and then again into the Brahmachari, Grastha, Vanprastha and Sannyas. These are ashram. These are religious principles. And it is duty of the head of the state to see that his citizens strictly follow them. He should not merely act officially. He should be like a father who is always a well-wisher of his son. Such a father strictly observes whether his sons are performing their duties, and sometimes he also punishes them if they are not following. Just contrary to the principle mentioned here, the presidents and chief executive in the age of Kali, Prabhupada is comparing with the Vedic administration with the modern day rule, are simply tax collectors who do not care whether religious principles are observed. They want to make everybody Shudra actually. Practically speaking, Prabhupada, when he started his movement, he said only on the planet there are capitalists and communists. One are Shudra and other are Vaishya, but there is nobody to protect them as a Kshatriya and nobody Brahman to guide them. So he wanted to establish a Krishna consciousness society to educate people in Brahmanical culture, then they can guide the rest of the humanity to follow the Varna Ashram system according to not birth but according to his talents and the modes of material nature under which he is working. So Srila Prabhupada writes, Indeed, the chief executive of present day introduced all kind of sinful activities. And what are they? They have brothels for illicit sex, they have liquor shop for intoxication, they have slaughterhouses for animal killing, and they have casino for gambling. And they are all authorized by the government. These sinful activities are now very prominently manifest in India also. And Prabhupada is writing this purport somewhere, say, in 67, 8, 9, something like that, maybe the last. So at that time he's saying like this. Although 100 years ago, Prabhupada says, these 4 principles of sinful life were strictly prohibited in the families of India. They have now been introduced into every Indian family. Therefore, they cannot follow religious principle. In contrast to principle of the king of old, the modern state is concerned only with propaganda for levying taxes, and is no longer responsible for the spiritual welfare of citizens. The state is now callous to religious principle. They said we are dharma nirapeksha. It means we don't follow any religion. Srimad Bhagavat predict that in Kali Yuga the government will be entrusted with Dasyu Dharma. Dasyu means dacoit, plunderers, rogues. In Kali Yuga, the leaders will be following the principle of Dasyu Dharma, which means the occupational duty of rogues and thieves, dacoits. Modern head of state are rogues and thieves who plunder the citizens instead of giving them protection. Rogues and thieves plunder without regard for law. But in this age of Kali, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, lawmakers themselves plunder the citizens. This is a very old story. Kali Yuga came to meet Maharaj Yudhishthira, but he was in meditation on chanting holy name of Krishna. So his 4 brothers, the one brother, he told that I was coming on the way and I saw the fence which was protecting the field of fruits and vegetables. I saw unusual thing that fence was destroying the fruits and vegetables. So the brother could not solve the problem. Ultimately they went to the Yudhishthira Maharaj. He said, this is, some person told us like this. He said, he was Kali Yuga, he was telling those who are supposed to protect you are going to plunder you. I used to tell this old story. The dacoits, they looted some bus, and total collection was said 27,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees. They threw money on their face. They said, this small booty of loot we will not take. Then somebody, he was sitting there, then why you stopped, wasted our time? He says, tomorrow it will come in a paper that we looted bus and we have to pay for 50,000 rupees to the police. So shall we pay 20,000 from our own pocket? So it means those who are supposed to protect are planning to plunder us. I used to tell this story. 3 police commissioners were together. One from America. I said, if there is any crime, within 48 hours we will definitely catch the culprit. And then one from Scotland said 24 hours too much. It takes us 12 hours to find out the victim. And the person from neighboring country said, you are wasting time. We know 1 week before what is going to happen where, because we plan everything. So this is what the modern government is doing. The next prediction to be fulfilled, which is already coming to pass of the Kali Yuga, is that because of the sinful activities of the citizens, so citizens also become sinful because of the breaking the 4 regulatory principles. And the government is also sinful because providing all facilities for sinful activities. The rain will become increasingly scarce. There will be drought or too much rain and flood. Gradually there will be a complete drought and no production of food grains. The prices will go high, and we can see presently in Sri Lanka and other part of the countries nearby here around us, they have money but they cannot buy the grains. People will be reduced to eating flesh and seeds. And many good, spiritually inclined people will have to forsake their homes because they will be too harassed by drought, taxation and famine. The Krishna conscious movement is the only hope to save the world from such devastation. How? By establishing farm communities and keeping domestic animals, cows for milking, bull for cultivation and transportation, and horses and other whatever is necessary in the area. And when the people will have no place to stay and nothing to eat, then Prabhupada said they will come to Krishna conscious farm communities, and we should provide them all necessity of life and ask them to chant holy name and follow 4 regulatory principles. It is the most scientific, Krishna conscious movement is most scientific and authorized movement, authorized by Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared really to re-establish the Sankirtan Dharma in Kali Yuga for the actual welfare of the whole human society. So this is the half work of Srila Prabhupada which is unfinished, to establish the farm communities. Every temple must have a farm community from where we get our grains, fruits, vegetables, milk product. Even we should have our own weaving system, cotton production. So we should be self-sufficient. But somehow we are still not ready for this challenge. Verse number 2. Desiring to get a perfect son, Agnidhar Maharaj, and become an inhabitant of Pitralok, because we need a good son to perform the rituals for a person living in heavenly planet. Pitralok is a heavenly planet, to enjoy the heavenly pleasure. Maharaj Agnidhar once worshipped Lord Brahma because he is the chief among the all demigods. Even he is the one Guna avatar and also the inaugurator of a Vaishnava Sampradaya, the master of those in charge of material creation. So Brahma is the master of all the demigods who are in charge of material creation. He went to valley of Mandra Hill, where the damsels of the heavenly planet come down to stroll. There he collected garden flowers and other necessary paraphernalia and then engaged in service, austerities and worship. So he used all these worshipable paraphernalia for worship to Brahma and was doing austerities. Carrying item of worship like flower, desiring son, Pitraloka Kamaha, he worshipped Brahma. Srila Prabhupada discussed Pitraloka Kama, are desires of being transferred to planet named Pitralok. This is actually office of Yamraj, and the presiding deity, presiding person of the Pitralok is Aryama. And Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, among the Pitras, I am Aryama. And when this Yamraj was cursed by Manduk Rishi to become Vidura, Aryama was, say, adhakli ruling the Yamlok. Pitralok is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Yanti Pitravrata Pitram, Yanti Adevratan Devam. To go to this planet, one needs to a very good son who can make offering to the Lord Vishnu and then offer the remnants to their forefathers. That's called Sharad ceremony, which comes 15 days every year. The purpose of the Sharad ceremony is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, so that after pleasing him, one may offer prasad to one's forefathers. People don't know this. And in this way, make them happy. The inhabitants of Pitralok are generally men of Karma Kandya, like the people of Swargalok. Karma Kandya means doing pious activities, enjoying the better facilities of life. Modern day education, all this MBA, MTech, BTech is also Karma Kandya too, to have a better facilities in foreign countries. This is also Karma Kandya. When your talents are no more required by them, you have to come back. Who have been transferred there because of their pious activities, they can stay there as long as their descendants offer them Vishnu Prasad. If nobody offers Shraddha, they have to come back. Everyone in heavenly planets such as Pitralok, so Pitralok is a heavenly planet, however, must return to the earth after exhausting effect of his pious act. And Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Shirna Punya Mrti Lokam Vishanti. Since Maharaj Priyavrat was a great devotee, now Prabhupada is arguing one thing. How come son of a great devotee like Priyavrat was too much interested to go to the heavenly planet or little sub-heavenly planet like Pitralok? What is the reason? How could he have begotten a son who desired to be transferred to Pitralok? Krishna says, Pitranyati Pitravrta. So he was not desiring to go to the Pitralok. So why his son is desiring to go? Similarly, Yati Madhyadyanopimam, if somebody worship me, Krishna says, then he will come to me. Since Maharaj Agnidhar was son of a Vaishnava, Priyavrat was a Vaishnava, as disciple of Narad, son of a Vaishnava, one of the Mahajan Swayambhu Manu, he should have desired to transfer to the spiritual world Vaikuntha. Why then did he desire to be transferred to Pitralok? The answer to this is given by Goswami Giridhar. So, Hare Krishna. Sorry, somebody has a microphone on. Please turn off. So, among the commentators of Bhagavatam, one is Goswami Giridhar. And he has a very jolly and simple commentary actually. So he says, the Agnidhar was born when Maharaj Priyavrat was infatuated with lusty desire. It means when he married first. Priyavrat married to whom? Anybody remember? From our last class? Yes. Daughter of Prajapati Vishwakarma. What is her name?
Barhishmati.
Say again.
Barhishmati.
Brahmati. Brahmati, daughter of Prajapati Vishwakarma, is right? So it means what we get actually principle from this commentary, that consciousness of the father is transferred to the offspring, and therefore Agnidhar become more, say, with a lusty consciousness to go and enjoy the heavenly pleasures. This may be accepted as a fact, Prabhupada saying, because sons are begotten with different mentalities by the parents according to the time of their conception. According to Vedic system, therefore, the child is conceived, the Garbhadan Sanskar is performed. This ceremony molds the mentality of father in such a way, because there is a worship, that when he plants his seed in the womb of his wife, he will get a child whose mind will be completely saturated with devotional attitude. At the present moment, however, there are no such Garbhadan Sanskar, and therefore people generally have a lusty attitude when they beget children, especially in this age of Kali. There are no Garbhadan ceremonies. Everyone enjoys sex with his wife like a cat and dog. Therefore, according to Shastric injection, almost all people of this age belong to Shudra category. Sanskarat bhavate dveja. Janam jayate sarva sudar. Everybody is born like a Sudra, but when he is undergo purificatory process, then he is called Dveja, or secondary born, when he goes to the spiritual master and understand the scripture. Of course, although Maharaj Agnidhar had a desire to transfer to Pitraloka, this does not mean that his mentality was Shudra. He was Kshatriya. Maharaj Agnidhar desired to be transferred to Pitraloka, and therefore he needed a wife. And because everyone desiring to be transferred to Pitraloka must leave behind a good son to offer yearly pinda or prasad for Lord Vishnu, to have a good son. Maharaj Agnidhar wanted a life from a family of demigod. Not, see, this Purav Chitti is not Apsara of Indra, heaven. It is actually Apsara of Brahma. And they are very exalted Apsara with a devotional attitudes. Even we will read in upcoming cantos that Pururva married the Apsara. She was even not of Brahma's planet. She was directly produced by Nar Narayan, Supreme Lord, from her thigh, Urvasi, because she has to beget the children which are ultimately going to be the lineage for Lord Krishna to appear. So the Apsara was not, the celestial woman was not from heaven or Brahmlok. It came directly from the body of the Narayan Rishi. Therefore he went to the Mandra hill to get a wife from higher planets, where the women of demigod generally come to worship Lord Brahma. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, now what is the desire of Agnidhar? Kankshate karmanam siddhin yajante ye devata. Because he had a material desires and lusty desires, so he was worshipping some demigod. This is also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Aishwaryaha Prajepaswaha when those who desire beautiful wife, Shri Aishwarya, substantial wealth, Aishwarya, and many sons worship demigod Praja. Prajesava means sons. They worship demigod. But an intelligent devotee, instead of being entangled by the happiness of this material world in the form of beautiful wife, material opulences and children, desire to be immediately transferred back to Godhead. Thus, he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. So Prabhupada said, well, we should not be much interested in all these things, though most of us are interested in material opulence, children and wife. We should be more interested in cultivating Krishna consciousness and going back to home. Verse 3. Understanding these two verse first section is over. Agnidhar's rule and his austerities. Understanding King Agnidhar's desire, the first and the most powerful creative being of this universe. Powerful is Bhagavan and first is Adi. Lord Brahma selected the best of the dancing girl in his assembly, not of the Indra's assembly, whose name was Purvachiti, and sent her to the king. Tat upalabhya Bhagavan Adi Purusha. Bhagavan Adi Purusha is the word in the verse. Prabhupada will discuss this. Well, Agni means actually passion, burning. Dhar means holding the passion of lust. In this verse, Prabhupada writes, Bhagavan Adi Purusha is significant. Usually Adi Purusha Bhagavan is Krishna, Govindam Adi Purusha. Then why Brahma is called Adi Purusha Bhagavan? Krishna is Adi Purusha in Bhagavatam, Krishna is Adi Purusha in Bhagavad Gita, Purusham Madhyam Puranam. So Prabhupada, in this verse, however, we see that Lord Brahma is described Bhagavan Adi Purusha. Why? The reason he is called Bhagavan, why he is called Bhagavan? That he is fully represents Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is a Guna Avatar. He is the first connection with the Supreme Lord for the Parampara. So he represented Supreme Lord. Therefore he is called Bhagavan. And why is called Adi? Because he is first born creature in this universe. So he is Adi for this universe, not for the eternity. The Brahma could understand Maharaj Agnidhar's desire because, how he understand? Demigods are not within our heart to understand. Who is in our heart? Paramatma. Paramatma is also in the heart of a demigod. So when Paramatma wants to help, he read our mind, our heart, and also as a Paramatma, and he is same Paramatma in the heart of Brahma, and he will inspire him go and fulfill his desire. This is the way the demigod fulfill the desire of their worshipper. Process. This is a process. Okay, Lord Brahma could understand Maharaj Agnidhar's desire because why? He is powerful as Lord Vishnu, Bhagavan. He is not Vishnu, he is Vishnu. As Lord Vishnu situated as a Paramatma can understand the desire of living entity, so Lord Brahma can also understand the living entity desire. How? Because Vishnu as a via medium inform him. This is stated in Bhagavatene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavya. We have two examples. This is one in the Bhagavatam first verse, the other in 10th canto. When the Brahma went with demigods, the Supreme Lord only told Brahma within his heart that I am going to appear. So Brahma is directly guided by a super soul within his heart. So Lord Vishnu informed Lord Brahma of everything from within his heart. Because Maharaj Agnidhar specifically worship Lord Brahma. This is a principle for all demigods. And this principle is also good for us to really get forgiven from our offenses from some devotee, where we don't have a courage to go and beg for forgiveness. Please pray to Paramatma. I have done some offense to a so and so devotee. I don't have a courage to go and tell him. So please make him understand that I am apologizing, and you will see the result very quickly. The other person will have a different attitude towards you. So Brahma sent Purvachiti Apsara to satisfy him. Verse 4. That Apsara sent by Brahma began strolling in a beautiful park near a place where king was meditating and worshipping. The park was beautiful because of its dense green foliage and golden creeper. There were pairs of varied birds, male and female, such as peacock. And in a lake there were ducks and swans, all vibrating very sweet sounds. Thus the park was magnificently beautiful because of the foliage, the clear water and the lotus flowers, and the sweet singing of the various kinds of birds. This is actually a place for peaceful meditation, and also now it is going to be a place for Kamdev or Cupid to appear through Purvachiti in the mind and heart of Maharaj Agnidhar. She began to wander about garden of hermitage. So she came to the garden of the hermitage in which Agnidhar was doing meditation. The hermitage had lakes full of lotuses and resounded with the various cries of the wild birds, which were awakened by the notes of the pair of land birds sitting on golden creepers, embracing the trunks of various trees with dense foliage. Verse number 5. As Purvachiti passed by on the road in a very beautiful style and moved of her own free will, the pleasing ornament on her ankle bells, tinkled with her every step. Although Prince Agnidhar was controlling his senses, doing austerity, meditation, practicing yoga with half-open eyes. Half-open eyes, Prabhupada will comment on half-open eyes. He could see her with his lotus-like eyes. So, lotus-like eyes is the beauty of Agnidhar. He is beautiful. And when he heard the sweet tinkling of her bangles, it means hands, so he opened his eyes slightly more and could see that she was just nearby. So calm enters through eyes. So he saw, and then he will be attracted. Srila Prabhupada writes, it is said that yogis always think of Supreme Personality of Godhead within their heart. Dhyanavasthit pradgate namansa pashyanti yam yoginaha. The Supreme Personality of God is always observed by the yogis who practice controlling the venomous senses. So Prabhupada's topic of discussion is senses compared to the venomous snakes, and how they are harmful for the yogis and they are harmless for the devotees. Because the poisonous fangs of the snakes are broken, then they are not harmful at all. So Prabhupada is discussing this and comparing the yogis with devotees. As recommended in Bhagavad Gita, yogi should practice Sampreksha Nasikagram, 6th chapter, keeping their eyes half open. Why? the eyes are closed completely, then he will sleep. And Prabhupada said, we have seen so many yogis, in the name of meditation, they close eyes and then snore. So this is a bogus. If they open the eyes, then they will be distracted by the sight of the different things. This is not practice of yoga. Actually, practice of yoga, one should keep his eyes half open and gaze at the tip of nose. Although Agnidhar, the son of Priyavat, was practicing mystic yoga and trying to control his senses, the tingling sound of poor Chiti's ankle bells disturbed his practice. He was nicely situated in Mandra mountain, beautiful atmosphere, living alone. What about those who are in the cities and trying to make the mock show of yoga meditation? They are wasting time, Prabhupada writes. Actual yoga practice means controlling senses. One must practice mystic yoga to control the senses, but the senses control of the devotees who fully engage in the service of Lord with his purified senses. Rishikena Rishikesh Sevanam Bhaktir Uttamam. So, the word Srila Prabhupada has used, mystic yoga is to control senses. Okay. Now, devotee is compared to mystic yogi who fully engage in service of Lord. It means he engages his senses in service of Lord. Prabhupada used to say, deity worship is samadhi with open eyes. And before we go in deity worship, if you remember in Nectar of Devotion, the word is Bhut Shuddhi, which means I am not this body. I am entering inside with purified senses as a servant. Gopi Bhartahu Pad Kamalyor Das Das Anudas. So Srila Prabhupada uses purified senses. Can never be disturbed. Srila Prabhupada Saraswati therefore stated, Durant Indriya Kal Sarap Patli. The senses are like the snake. Prokhat Danshtra Yate. If their teeth are broken, they are harmless. Chaitanya Chandra Amrit. The practice of yoga is like venomous, is undoubtedly good because it controls the senses, which are like venomous snakes, serpents. When one engages in devotional service, however, completely implying all the activities of the senses in the service of the Lord, the venomous quality of these senses is completely nullified. It is explained that a serpent is to be feared because of its poisonous fangs. But if those fangs are broken, the serpent, although it seems fearsome, is not at all dangerous. Krishna subdued Kalya and broke all his fangs and energy, and he was not dangerous at all. So those who serve Krishna, their senses also become harmless. Devotees therefore may see hundreds and thousands of beautiful women with fascinating bodily movements and gestures, but not be allured, whereas such women would make ordinary yogis fall. Prabhupada gives example of Vishwamitra, a perfect yogi was captivated by Menka and Shakuntala was born. That was also a very special event because Shakuntala has to marry Maharaj Bharata. By that name, the Pandavas are called Bharata Vansi. The practice of mystic yoga therefore is not sufficiently strong to control the senses. So we have two examples, yogis captivated by celestial girl Vishwamitra and Agnidhar. And we have an opposite example of Haridas Thakur not captivated by Maya personified. The another example, okay. Because he heard the tingling of the ankle bells in the same way that Vishwamitra was attracted. Okay. Prince Agnidhar, upon hearing the tingling bell of Pujati, immediately opened his eyes to see her beautiful movement as she walked. So seeing is a beginning of fall down. Therefore, when Surpankha came as a beautiful lady, Ram never gazed at her. Ram was gazing at only Sita. Just teaching us, eyes are the gates for the lust to enter. The prince was also very handsome, described here as lotus-eyed. Verse number 6, this is the end of appearing verse, and then Agnidhar will speak. Somebody should read the Prabhupada's translation. Yes, Prabhu.
Like a honeybee, the Apsara smelled the beautiful and attractive flowers. She could attract the minds and vision of both humans and demigods by her playful movements, her shyness and humility, her glances, the very pleasing sounds that poured from her mouth as she spoke, and the motion of her limbs. By all these qualities, she opened for Cupid, who bears an arrow of flowers, a path of oral reception into the minds of men. When she spoke, nectar seemed to flow from her mouth. As she breathed, the bees, mad for the taste of her breath, tried to hover about her beautiful lotus-like eyes. Disturbed by the bees, she tried to move hastily, but as she raised her feet to walk quickly, her hair, the belt on her hips, and her breasts, which were like water jugs, also moved in a way that made her extremely beautiful and attractive. Indeed, she seemed to be making a path for the entrance of Cupid, who is most powerful. Therefore, the prince, completely subdued by seeing her, spoke to her as follows.
So she was actually inviting Cupid to pierce the meditating mind of Agnidhar. Becoming bewildered on seeing her, means Agnidhar, he speaks the next 10 verses. So now the next 10 verses Agnidhar speak in bewilderment on seeing her. He appeared to be stunned. He became like a jad, like a stone. It's only calm will make, this lust will make us stunned. But this was imitation. Chakravarti Path says it was not actually, he was not stunned, it was imitation. He was imitating his stunned position. Why? Showing his skillfulness, that how he is, the word will come, Vigad. Very expert in attracting woman, and Krishna is called actually Vigad Madhav. So skillful is the Vigad. She had a belt, braid and part like brace, which moved as she walked. Okay, and she left. She made a door for Cupid to enter the mind of men. Srila Prabhupada's purport is quite okay. Srila Prabhupada is saving us from such a description of Cupid, like Cupid awakening gestures of a fair sex. So Prabhupada will quote immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that the saintly person has a different attitude. How a beautiful woman's movement and gesture, her hair and structure of her breast, hip and other bodily features attract the mind, not only of men but of demigod, also is very finely described in this statement. The words, Dvij Manuja. Dvij means demigod, Manuja means human. Specifically emphasize that the attraction of feminine nature is powerful everywhere within this material world, both on this planet and the higher planetary system. Divi means higher. It is said that the standard of living in the higher planetary system is thousands of times higher than the standard living on this planet. Therefore, the beautiful bodily features of woman there are also thousand times more attractive. Therefore, the whole religion, whole Muslim religion actually, is dying even in a terrorism to get 72 celestial beautiful girls to enjoy. That is their desire in heaven. Therefore, the Creator has constructed women in such a way that their beautiful voice and movement and the beautiful features of their hips, their breast and the other parts of the body attract the members of the opposite sex, both on the earth and on the other planets, and awaken their lust to desire. When one is controlled by Cupid, or the beauty of the woman, both are same, he becomes stunned like matter such as stone. Captivated by the material movement of the woman, he wants to remain in this material world. Prabhupada used to call the sex is the greatest shackle for the living beings to be stuck in this world. Thus, one's promotion to the spiritual world is checked simply by seeing the beautiful bodily structure and movements of the woman. Sri Chaitanya Prabhupada is protecting us by teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore warned all devotees to be aware of attraction of beautiful woman and materialistic civilization. Two things. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even refused to see the Prataparudra Maharaj because he was a very opulent person in the material world. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said in this connection, Nishkanchanasya Bhagavat Bhajan Unumakhasya. Those who are engaged in the devotional service of Lord, because they are very serious about going back to Godhead, back to home, should be very careful to avoid seeing beautiful gesture of women and should also avoid seeing person who are very rich. This is Prabhupada, this thing Srila Prabhupada told when he was giving sannyasi to Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in Jaipur temple, Govind Dev temple. He said, you are taking sannyas now. You should not be attracted by any woman and think I had left a beautiful wife. And you should never see the opulence of rich people and think I could have got that. And then Bhima Prabhu once was telling that Prabhupada also said, don't think of different models of the car as a sannyasi, otherwise you cannot keep your sannyas intact. So here is the full verse. Nishkanchanasya Bhagavat Bhajanon Mukhasya Param Param Jigam Mishora Bhavasagarasya Sandarshanam Vishainam Atha Yoshitam. Vishainam means materially people, rich people. Yoshitam means woman. Ha Hanta Hanta Vish Bhakshanto Api Asado. It's like drinking poison. Alas, Hanta Hanta. For a person who is seriously desiring to cross the material ocean and engage in the trance and loving service of the Lord without material motive, Nishkanchanas. Seeing a materialistic engage in sense gratification, Vishainam. Or seeing a woman, Yoshita, who is similarly interested in more abominable than drinking, that is more abominable than drinking poison willingly. One who is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, should not contemplate the attractive feature of woman and opulence of rich men. Such contemplation will check one's advancement in spiritual life. Once devotee is fixed in Krishna consciousness, however, these attractions will not agitate his mind. Now, Maharaj is speaking, Agnidhar. Read, please.
The prince mistakenly addressed the Apsara. "O best of saintly persons, who are you? Why are you on this hill, and what do you want to do? Are you one of the illusory potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? You seem to be carrying 2 bows without strings. What is the reason you carry these bows? Is it for some purpose of your own, or for the sake of a friend? Perhaps you carry them to kill the mad animals in this forest."
Okay, this is asking who she is. He is confused. He indicates that he does not know the difference between man and woman, since he has been practicing austerities since childhood. O best of the sages, he addressed, "You are staying here like me to perform austerities?" Question. Are you staying here like me to perform austerities? But then he thought for a moment, why does she bewilder me if she is a sage like me? Then he thought she was Maya of Supreme Lord, Paradevata Bhagavan, who had come in the form of a sage. Seeing her eyebrows, he then said, "You are carrying 2 bows." So eyebrows are bows, without bow strings. "Oh friend, why have you done this? What use are they? Are you hunting inattentive animals in the forest?" The deeper meaning is this. Of this is that he himself is like an animal which she is hunting. Now somebody should read Srila Prabhupada's purport.
While undergoing severe penances in the forest, Agnidhra was captivated by the movements of Purvachitti, the girl sent by Lord Brahma. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Kamaishtaistai Jnana. When one becomes lusty, he loses his intelligence. Therefore, Agnidhra, having lost his intelligence, could not distinguish whether Purvachitti was male or female. He mistook her for a Muniputra, the son of a saintly person in the forest, and addressed her as Munivarya. Because of her personal beauty, however, he could not believe her to be a boy. He therefore began studying her features. First, he saw her 2 eyebrows, which were so expressive that he wondered whether he or she might be the Maya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words used in this connection are Bhagavat Paradevatayaha. Devataha, the demigods, all belong to this material world, whereas Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always beyond this material world and is therefore known as Paradevata. The material world is certainly created by Maya, but it is created under the direction of Paradevata, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Mayadhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Characharam, Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Maya is not the ultimate authority for the creation of this material world. Maya acts on behalf of Krishna. Purvachitti's eyebrows were so beautiful that Agnidhra compared them to bows without strings. He therefore asked her whether they were to be used for her own purposes or for the sake of someone else. Her eyebrows were like bows meant to kill animals in the forest. The material world is like a great forest, and its inhabitants are like forest animals, such as deer and tigers meant to be killed. The killers are the eyebrows of beautiful women. Captivated by the beauty of the fair sex, all the men of the world are killed by bows without strings, but cannot see how they are killed by Maya. It is a fact, however, that they are being killed. Bhutva bhutva praliyate. Bhagavad Gita 8.19. By dint of his tapasya, Agnidhra could understand how Maya acts under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Pramatha is also significant. Pramatha refers to one who cannot control his senses. The entire material world is being exploited by people who are Pramatha or Vibudha. Prahlad Maharaj therefore said, Soche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha maya sukaya bharam utvahato vimudhan. They are rotting in the material activities for transient material pleasure and spoiling their lives, toiling all day and night simply for sense gratification with no attachment for love of Godhead. I am simply lamenting for them and devising various plans to deliver them from the clutches of Maya. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.43. Karmis who act very seriously for sense gratification are always referred to in the Shastras by such terms as Pramattha, Vimukha and Vimudha. They are killed by Maya. However, one who is Apramatta, a sane, sober person, a Dhira, knows very well that a human being's primary duty is to render service to Supreme Person. Maya is always ready to kill those who are Pramatta with her invisible bows and arrows. Agnitra questioned Purvachitti about this.
So, Prabhupada was in Nairobi, and somebody told Prabhupada, there's a very nice zoo. Shall you go and see? Prabhupada said, what? What is in zoo? He said, animals. Prabhupada said, they're all outside. What's the need to go in a zoo? There are two-legged animals everywhere. That's what Prabhupada is saying. What they are called, this type of people are called. What are the three words for that? Parmatta, Mudha, Vimudha, Parmatta and Vimukha. Means they turn their face away from Krishna. Bano imo bhagavataha shatapatra patrao Shantava apunkha ruchirava atitigam danto Kasmai yuyongshasi vane vicharanna vidma Kshemaya no jadadhiyam tava vikramavastu. Yes, read. Then Agnidhar observed the glancing eyes of Purvachitti and said, what he said, read.
Then Agnidhar observed the glancing eyes of Purvachitti and said, my dear friend, you have two very powerful arrows, namely your glancing eyes. Those arrows have feathers like the petals of a lotus flower. Although they have no shafts, they are very beautiful, and they have very sharp piercing points. They appear very peaceful, and thus it seems that they will not be shot at anyone. You must be loitering in this forest to shoot those arrows at someone, but I cannot understand who. My intelligence is dull, and I cannot combat you. Indeed, no one can equal you in prowess. Therefore, I pray that your prowess will be for my good fortune.
Okay. You have two languid arrows with lotus petal feathers, with no shaft and very sharp arrowheads. I do not know whom you will shoot in this forest. May your prowess be auspicious for me, who have no intelligence. On seeing her glances, he speaks. You have two arrows with lotus petal feathers, languid because of coquetry, without shaft, with a very beautiful sharp arrowheads. May your prowess be auspicious for me. What is the meaning? This means that if you shoot me, I will not live because of the pain of the arrow piercing me. So Srila Prabhupada writes, Agnidhar thus began appreciating Purvachitti's powerful glances upon him. He compared her glances eyes to very sharp arrows. Although her eyes were as beautiful as lotuses, they were simultaneously like shaftless arrows, and Agnidhar was therefore afraid of them. He hoped that her glances upon him would be favorable, because he was already captivated And the more captivated he become, the more impossible it would be for him to remain without her. Agnidhar therefore prayed to Puruchit that her glances at him would be auspicious, not futile. It means he should get her as wife. In other words, he prayed that she would become his wife. Now Sishya ime bhagavataha parita patanti. Sishya ime. Who are your disciples? These are the bees. Gayanti sama sarasyam ajarasam isham yushmat chikhaha vilulitaha sumano abhivrishti. Sumanabi. Oh, on your flowers falling, these bees are there as if they are your disciples. Sarve bhajante rishi gana eva veda sakhaha. And they are singing the Sam Ved. Sing the bumblebees flying Puruchit, is Maharaj Agnidhar said. Sing bumblebee following. My dear Lord, the bumblebees surrounding your body are like disciples surrounding your worshipable self. They are incessantly chanting the mantra of Sam Ved and Upanishad, thus offering prayers to you. Just as great sages resort to the branches of Vedic literature, the bumblebees are enjoying the showers of flowers falling from your hair. Seeing the bees surrounding her out of greed for her fragrance, he speaks. The bees are compared to disciples. Verse 10. Vacham param charana panjara titrinam. Charana panjar titrinam. These are the your ankle bells are like birds titri. Brahman arupa mukharam sharanavam utubhyam labdha kadam ruchir anka vitanka bimbe yasyam alata paridhi kavacha valkalam. You don't have valkal means actually tree bark. It appears you have forgotten to wear the tree bark as a sadhu. It means you are naked. So read translation by Srila Prabhupada.
O Brahmana, I can simply hear the tinkling of your ankle bells. Within those bells, titri birds seem to be chirping among themselves. Although I do not see their forms, I can hear how they are chirping. When I look at your beautiful circular hips, I see they are the lovely color of kadamba flowers, and your waist is encircled by a belt of burning cinders. Indeed, you seem to have forgotten to dress yourself.
So the word Valkalam is usually the saintly people, they wear the tree bark, that's called Valkal. Relishing the sound of our ankle bells, he speak, I assume there are two partridge encaged in your 2 feet to give you bliss, birds. Since I hear their loud voice, though they are invisible to me, O Brahman, this is manifested because of your great power of yoga arising from austerity. Relishing the beauty of her thin yellow cloth around her waist, he speaks. It is astonishing that your blackish hip have become yellow like the kadam flower. An alternative version, it means in Sanskrit, Ang nitam bimme. Ang is a vocative address, okay. O sir, Ang. Looking at her jeweled belt, he speaks. On your hip is a circle of embers. You are performing intense penance. Where is your garment made of bark? In bewilderment, you have left your covering and your hermitage and come to me naked. This suggests his desire for sexual encounter. It means Agnidhar is captivated. Yes, read Srila Prabhupada's purport.
With lusty desires to see Purva Chitti, Agnidhra especially
gazed upon the girl's attractive hips and waist. When a man looks upon a woman with such lusty desires, he is captivated by her face, her breasts, and her waist. For a woman first attracts a man to fulfill his sexual desires by the beautiful features of her face, by the beautiful slope of her breast, and also by her waist. Purvachitta was dressed in fine yellow silk, and therefore her hips looked like kadamba flowers. Because of her belt, her waist seemed to be encircled by burning cinders. She was beautifully dressed, but Agnidra had become so lusty that he asked, "Why have you come naked?"
Kim sambritam ruchirayo dvejja shrangayoste madhya krisho vahasi yatta drishi shrita me panko arunaha surabhir atma vishana igdrig yena shramam subhang me surabhi karoshi. So now again he is thinking about the Vakshisthala of a Purvachitti. Just read the translation, somebody please.
Agnidra then praised Purvachitti's raised breast. He said, "My dear Brahmana, your waist is very thin."
Your sound, can you keep microphone near to your mouth, please? My dear Brahman.
My dear Brahmana, your waist is very thin, yet with great difficulty you are carefully carrying 2 horns, to which my eyes have become attracted. What is filling those two between beautiful horns? You seem to have spread fragrant red powder upon them, powder that is like the rising morning sun. O most fortunate one, I beg to inquire where you have got this fragrant powder that is perfuming my ashram, my place of residence.
Seeing her breast, he speaks, O Brahman, what valuable jewels are within those 2 horns which are covered up on seeing me? Why you are covered up on seeing me? Though you are a Brahman, you are carrying 2 horns on your chest, and within them you are holding some attractive objects, since you are carrying them with difficulty, though you are very thin at waist. My seeing this is the proof. Drive away my doubts by uncovering those horns and showing me what you are hiding. If you permit me, then I will uncover them, since I am your friend. Since I am doing austerities, I do not need these things. I only want to see them. Her breasts were like horn because they were raised up. Seeing the kumkum on her breast, he speaks, on your 2 horns you have some mud fragrant and red from some lake. I also want to put this mud on my chest. Okay, there is a little purport by Srila Prabhupada. Yes, somebody should continue.
Agnidhara appreciated Purvachitti's red breasts. After seeing the girl's breasts, he became almost mad. Nevertheless, he could not recognize whether Purvachitti was a boy or a girl, for as a result of his austerity, he saw no distinction between the two. He therefore addressed her with the word Dvija, O Brahmana. Yet, why should a Dvija, a Brahmana boy, have horns on his chest? Because the boy's waist was thin, Agnidhara thought he was carrying the horns with great difficulty, and although they must be filled with something very valuable, otherwise why would he carry them? When a woman's waist is thin and her breasts are full, she looks very attractive. Agnidhara, his eyes attracted, contemplated the heavy breasts on the girl's thin body and imagined how her back must sustain them. Agnidhara imagined that her raised breasts were 2 horns she had covered with cloth so that others would not see the valuables within them. Agnidhara, however, was very anxious to see them. Therefore, he requested, "Please uncover them so that I can see what you are carrying. Rest assured that I shall not take it away. If you feel an inconvenience in removing the covering, I can help you. I myself can uncover them to see what valuable things those raised horns contain." He was also surprised to see the red dust of perfumed kumkuma spread over her breasts. Nevertheless, still considering Urvachiti a boy, Agnidhara addressed her as Sobhaga, most fortunate Muni. The boy must have been fortunate, otherwise how simply by standing there could he perfume Agnidhara's entire ashrama.
So in olden days, actually, brahmacharis were trained in such a way that they were not knowing actually the grown-up girls have raised breast. So one elderly saintly person took his disciple for begging. When they went to somebody's house and said, "Bhiksham dehi," mother give bhiksha. So a young girl came, and this young brahmachari, he was surprised, and he told his guru, spiritual master, what happened to this young girl? Why her chest is swollen like that? So it means they were not actually knowing in the early days, the brahmacharis, with a lustier sexual concept. And then Guru told him, "My dear son, when she will give birth to a child, these raised areas will provide milk to the new baby. They are milk babes." So I think everybody who is born in this world has been breastfed by mothers. So those breasts which are feeding and giving life to the human being, why people should be lusty for that lump of flesh? That is actually the saintly people was thinking like that in those days. Lokam pradrashya svirtam tavakam me yatratya itham urava savayayavav apauravav asmad vidasya mana unmananu bibrati bahava udbhutam sarasarasa sudhadi vaktre. Oh, best friend, will you kindly show me the place where you reside? I cannot imagine how the residents of that place have gotten such wonderful bodily features as your raised breast. Which agitated mind and eyes of a person like me, who sees them? Judging by the sweet speech and kind smile of those residents, I think that their mouths must contain nectar. Chakravartipad writes, if you say that in your place men have similar horn on their chest, I will go there and perform penance to get such horns. Agnidhar say like that. Oh best friend, out of friendship, show me that place. But these are not horns, I answer. He says that the person of that place carries two astonishing limbs on his chest, which attract the mind of a person like me. An alternative version is mana unmanyaha. This means with great attractive features for mind. The person of your country also carries something very astonishing in his mouth. The word Adi indicates the fragrant honey of our smile and joking. Read Srila Prabhupada's small purport. Oh, no sound. Please make a proper sound.
Still bewildered, Agnidhara wanted to see the place from which the Brahmana boy had come, where the men had such raised breasts. Such attractive features, he thought, must be due to the severe austerities performed there. Agnidhara addressed the girl as Shrutama, the best friend. so that she would not refuse to take him there. Not only was Agnidhara captivated by the girl's raised breast, he was also attracted by her sweet speech. Nectar seemed to emanate from her mouth, and therefore he was increasingly surprised.
Kavatam vitir adanta dhavi angavati Vishnu kalaye animisho namukra chakarano Udvigan meena yugalam dveja pankati sochi Asan branga nikaran sarin mukham te. Now he's giving analogies of his beautiful mouth, face, ears, eyes. My dear friend, what do you eat to maintain your body? Because you are achieving battle. A pleasing scent is emanating from your mouth. This proves that you always eat the remnant of food offered to Vishnu. Indeed, you must be an expansion of Lord Vishnu's body. Your face is as beautiful as pleasing lake. Your jeweled earrings resemble two brilliant sharks with unblinking eyes like those of Vishnu. And your own eyes resemble two restless fish. Simultaneously, therefore, two sharks and two restless fish are swimming in the lake of your face. Beside them, the white rows of your teeth seem like rows of your beautiful swan in the water, and your scattered hairs resemble swarms of bumblebees following the beauty of your face. What do the people eat to maintain their lives in your place? Noticing the astonishing fragrance emanating from her chewing beryl nuts, he speaks. By chewing beryl, the fragrance of sacrifice comes here. Persons of another place are said to be the performer of sacrifice. The sacrifice inferred from the fragrance. This statement indicates that he is not familiar with either betel nut chewing or sacrifice. Another version is Adanta Bahi Anga Bhati. You maintain your life without eating since you are a portion of Vishnu. Vishnu does not need to eat. Shruti says, Anashanan Anyo Abhichakshi. The Lord looks at the Jiva without eating. You have signs of Vishnu. You have two makra earrings made of jewels which shine continuously without blinking. In your face, which is like a lake, are two agitated fishes of your eyes, and two rows of brilliant teeth like swan, with lock of hair like swan of bees. Srila Prabhupada, small purport, please read.
The devotees of Lord Vishnu are also his expansions. They are called Vipinamsha. Lord Vishnu is offered all kinds of sacrificial ingredients, and because devotees always eat prasad, the remnants of his food, the scent of sacrificial ingredients emanates not only from Vishnu, but also from the devotees who eat the remnants of his food or the food of his devotees. Agnidhara considered Purvachitti an expansion of Lord Vishnu because of the pleasing scent of her body. Aside from that, because of her jeweled earrings shaped like sharks, because of her scented hair resembling bumblebees mad after the scent of her body, and because of the white rows of her teeth which resembled swans, Agnidhara compared Purvachitti's face to a beautiful lake decorated with lotus flowers, fish, swans and bumblebees.
So, Srila Prabhupada said, you are like a Vishnu, so we are not like a Vishnu, but we are the Vibhina Ansa. So what are the different Ansa of the Vishnu? Yes, what are the different expansion of Vishnu? There are two. Swansa and Vibhinansa. Swansa are the Vishnu Tattva and Vibhinansa are the Jiva Tattva. Yes. Because the devotee take the remnants of prasad, they also have a fragrance of the Vishnu. Like in the morning, we have the scent first offered to the Lord and then comes to for all devotees. Then we have that scented, so this is something like that. And verse 14. Yo aso tavaya kar saroja hat patango dikshoho brahman brahmatta ijayati akshnime muktam nate sangsasi vaktra jata vara varutham kashto anil harati lampat esha nivim. Nivim is called lower garment. So Agnidhar, as first others saying, my mind is already restless, and by playing with ball, now you are playing with ball. What is the word for ball? Kar saroj, Lord hat struck patanga ball, patanga. My mind is already restless, and by playing with a ball, moving it all about with your lotus-like palm, you are also agitating my eyes. Your curling black hair is now scattered, but you are not attentive to arrange it. Are you not going to arrange it? Like a man attached to woman, the most cunning wind is trying to take off your lower garment. Are you not mindful of it? Seeing her play with ball, he speaks. Ball disturbed my eyes, and I have already become bewildered in heart. You are not aware that your hair has become unbound. The crafty wind has blown away your garment. Are you not aware of this? In this way you are absorbed in playing with ball. Please read Srila Prabhupada's purport.
The girl Purvachitti was playing with the ball in her hand, and the ball seemed like nothing but another lotus flower captured by her lotus-like palm. Because of her movements, her hair was loose, and the belt holding her cloth was giving way, as if the cunning wind were trying to make her naked. Yet she paid no attention to arranging her hair or fixing her dress. As Agnidhar tried to see the girl's naked beauty, his eyes were very agitated by her movements.
Rupam tapodham tapascharatam tapoghanam haetatokena tapasa bhava uttapalabdham chartum tapo arati maya sahamitra mahayam kimava prasidati savai bhava bhavano me. O best among those performing austerities, where did you get this wonderful beauty that dismantle the austerities performed by others? Where you have learned this art? What austerities have you undergone to achieve this beauty? My dear friend, I desire that you join me to perform austerities and penance, and for it may be that the creator of universe, Lord Brahma, being pleased with me, has sent you to become my wife. Perhaps you have been sent to join me in performing austerities. The wealth of austerity, O you, wealth of austerity, you have gained to a higher degree something which destroy others' austerities. You should join me in performing austerities to make me happy. Is Brahma pleased to fulfill my desire? Please read Srila Prabhupada's purport. Yes?
Agnidhara appreciated the wonderful beauty of Purvachitti. Indeed, he was surprised to see such exceptional beauty, which must have been the result of past austerities and penances. He therefore asked the girl whether she had achieved such beauty just to break the penances and austerities of others. He thought that Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, might have been pleased with him
and might there have been seen her become his wife. He requested Purvachit to become his wife so that together they could perform austerities and penances in family life. In other words, a suitable wife helps her husband perform penances and austerities in household life if both of them are on the same elevated platform of spiritual understanding. Without spiritual understanding, husband and wife cannot be equally situated. Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, is interested in good progeny. Therefore, unless he is pleased, one cannot get a suitable wife. In fact, Lord Brahma is worshipped in marriage ceremonies. In India, even today, wedding invitations are still issued with a picture of Lord Brahma on the face of the card.
So why Brahma has a connection with the marriage? I think
Because
yes.
Because Brahmaji's job is to create further progenies and fill the world.
So because he is in charge of the passion, and marriage is a passion, so his presence is for progeny. Okay. Natvam tyajami daitam dvijadeva datam yasmin manodrigapi no na vyati lagnam mam charu shrangai arasi netum anuvartamte chittam yataha pratisharanto shivas sachivayaha. Shiva Sachivaha, favorable friends. O Brahman, who is worshipped by Brahmans. Lord Brahma, who is worshipped by Brahmanas, has very mercifully given you to me, and that is why I have met you. I do not want to give up your company, for my mind and eyes are fixed upon you, and cannot be drawn away. O woman, with beautiful raised breast, I am your follower. You may take me wherever you like, and your friends may also follow me. He feared that she will say, what is the benefit for me in obeying you? I am going now. He speaks, I will not give you up, since you are given by Brahma. My mind and eyes do not leave you. O person with beautiful horns, woman with raised breast, addressing her in the feminine indicate that his attempt to conceal his feeling has been destroyed by his lust. You should take me wherever you like. May your favorable friends follow you. Now Agnidhar frankly admits his weakness. He was attracted by Purvachiti, and therefore before she could say, but I have no business with you, he expressed his desire to be united with her. He was so attracted that he was ready to go anywhere, hell or heaven, in her company. When one is absorbed in lust and the influence of sex, one surrendered to the feet of woman without reservations. Srila Madhvacharya remarked in this connection that when one engages in joking and in talking like crazy person, one may say anything and everything, but his words should be meaningless. So what is the meaning of the Madhvacharya? What Madhvacharya is saying? Srila Madhvacharya is saying something. When we praise somebody's beauty because we are intoxicated with lust, so it has no meaning. So one should not take it seriously. Now Shukdev Goswami is saying, Maharaj Agnidhar, whose intelligence was like that of demigod, knew the art of flattering women to win them to his side. He therefore pleased that celestial girl with his lusty words and gained her favor. Lalana means beautiful girl. Lalana no niyati, to attract. Vishardo, very expert. Gramya Vegadhyaya, in the expertise of attracting them. Paribhashaya Tan. So, Srila Prabhupada has used this word. Since King Agnidhar was a devotee, he actually had no attraction for material enjoyment. But because he wanted a wife for progeny and Lord Brahma had sent Purvachiti for his purpose, he expertly pleased her with flattering words. Women are attracted by men's flattering words. One who is expert in this art of flattery is called Vidagdha. And Krishna is really the expert Vidagdha Madhav. So here I think Prabhupada is giving a very special note that King Agnidhar is a devotee. He has no material attraction. He simply wanted progeny. So all these talks which we had is not at material platform. Because when Prabhupada writes, he was a devotee. He actually has no attraction for material enjoyment. He wanted progeny. So I think we can have some question answer. We can finish this chapter if we like, but I think tomorrow we will finish half of this remaining verses of this chapter and the next half of the chapter. One more class, I think. How many classes we have, by the way?
Total 6 classes, including today's 3 are over.
I think I will finish in 2 more classes, everything. One tomorrow and one next Saturday. So I'm just leaving it here. If you have any question or comment, because today I have a little marathon. I had morning 6 to 8 class, then after 1 I have another class. I have to finish and go for the next class. So one hand is up, Madhav Kant Das. Yes, Madhav Kant.
Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Sukadeva Goswami is so renowned and is talking to Parikshit Maharaj, who is also renowned. If there is 2 renowned persons in discussion, why Sukadeva Goswami has to give so elaborate descriptions of Purvachiti, which may deviate the mind of renowned persons, not Sukadeva Goswami, other renowned persons who may not be 100% pure, practitioner of renowned life may also get diverted. Why he has to
because their senses were controlled like the venomous snakes without poisonous fangs, but they were discussing this because this marriage lead to the birth of a father for Rishabdev Maharaj. And Rishabdev Maharaj's incarnation and his son Bharat will be known by the planet Bharat. So, when Sukadeva Goswami described the beauty of Yashoda and Gopis, his object is that you go behind these ladies, you will reach to Krishna. So their aim is ultimately to reach to Krishna, because these devotees are bringing Krishna. So this Agnidhar is going to bring Nabhi, who is going to bring the Rishabdev on the planet. So they are interested actually in Krishna Katha, but for that they are related with Krishna Katha. Prabhupada says Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. We are not interested in Pandavas and their fight, but since their all life is connected with Krishna, so Agnidhar's life is connected with Rishabdev, which is the continuity of this section. And because they glorify, because the heavenly beauty is actually a creation of God. By that beauty we can see how the God will be more beautiful. The one who has created such a beautiful Purvachiti, what a beauty God will have. So they don't see the beauty, they see the creator of the beauty. So sadhu should see like that. When you see the beautiful creation in this world, you simply think how the beautiful Krishna is a creator of all this. So you should see, once a person went to a saintly person, he asked, please give me some advice. And the person said, be a lion, don't be a dog. He said, what it means? It means dog only looks to what you throw to him. But the lion looks at the person who is throwing, not to the thing thrown. So we should not look at the thing which is in front of us. We should see who has thrown it to us. So our focus is on the Creator, Brahma, our Acharya of the Sampradaya, not on Purvachitti. Creator Krishna, how beautiful he is. That should be, they are at that level. Is it okay, Madhavakant?
Yeah, thank you.
And Karunandida, what is your question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dalal Quran. Actually, in text number, is addressing, the Abhidhari is addressing the addressing Achina Bhai and Purvachit as a Brahman. And in that context, Prabhupada is explaining that he was actually, although he was a very austere person, but he is not able to recognize whether he is a boy or a girl, right? But okay, still, why he, one point Prabhupada is trying to say that he has done so much austerity. And again, next moment, he is bewildered by the beauty of that Purvachit, right? And so how do you explain that?
See, he was doing austerities from childhood, so he think everybody is sadhu. Anybody who is coming to me, girl, he think, oh, she is also a girl. There's a whole story in Ramayana about the Vibhandak Rishi's son, the Shringi Rishi, Rishi Shring. And the prostitute was sent by Maharaj Ang in a dress of a saintly person, and he was talking with the girl like a saintly person. So in a forest, he thought only sadhus are there, Brahmins are there doing austerity. So the whole thing is that their consciousness was on the austerity, the result of the austerity to get the good birth, to get the nice beauty. So ultimately the whole thing is he wanted to please the Brahma, to get a wife, to get a son who will do something for him as a Pitra Kami. But more than that, he will get a son from Purvajati who is going to be the father of Bhagavan Rishabdev. So this talk is like a gentleman's talk. Though ultimately we have read Chakravarti Sahad says he is not stunned, actually he is imitating, because he was Vidagdha. He was very expert in attracting women. He was knowing this. He was knowing this, but still he was acting like that. And for us, a lesson for us is that when somebody is affected by Cupid arrow, then he become stunned and he don't know is a male, female, whatever, he just become stone-like. And then he will be captivated by that. So we should not be enticed by such thing. But here is a pastime of a great exalted son of Swayambhu Manu's progeny. So they are not for material things. Therefore Prabhupada warned in the end, he was a devotee. His purpose was to beget the qualified children. So we should, I mean, this is for us, the person, this is like the mother is so loving to the son, He may not be beautiful, but she will say, you are the most beautiful. Similarly, the lusty person, when he's infatuated by the lusty desire, he can tell anybody, you are coming from the heaven. She may be a street girl. So this is the actually a psychology behind that.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I think Parikshat has answered most of the question of this chapter, and they're perfectly okay. All of you have finished your question answer?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. So I think today I just finished now. Tomorrow we'll meet and finish this chapter and start the next chapter. We may finish, I don't think. Anyway, somehow I was not knowing that I have so many classes in one day, but it happened. Thank you. Vacha kalpatru vyasya kripa sindhu vyayeva cha patitanam pavane